Shalom Yasharala. It's your brother Darash Ahmad. I'm an affiliate of the GMS Boise, Idaho camp. I'm back with another lesson. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone for bringing out this truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect, which includes the 144,000 rest elected that scattered around the world, including no speckled bird Israelites who may look like the other nations but are not. Now, this is not a black thing. See, the Israelites were scattered amongst all nations, so they look like all nations. But according to Numbers chapter 1 and 18, you are who your father is. So this word goes out to the 12 tribes scattered abroad because the scriptures were only written unto the nation of Israel. So let's jump right into Matthew chapter 6, and we'll pick it up at verse 22. And it says, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Okay? And so when you read this, you read eye and you immediately thinking about, I can't be, seeing no evil thing and stuff like this. That's not really what that's talking about. When the scriptures is talking about your eye in this context, okay, it's talking about your mindset, your thought process, and what you're focused on. That's what it's talking about, okay? So, we bring out the scripture, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things shall be brought unto you. Or like in Paul's epistles, when he's telling them to think upon these things, these good things, okay? So we should have our mindset on the kingdom, on doing the things of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. We should have, our mindset on meditating on the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, like King David, okay? I meditate on his word day and night. So that is where our mindset should be. So that is the light, because, we'll get to it in the precepts that this word is light. Okay, is our lamp unto our feet and the light unto our path. So it is the light that's leading us in the right way. Okay, and if anything else, like, the things of this world is, the object of, where your heart is and where your mind is, or in this sense, where your eye is, what you're focused on, then it's darkness. Your path is going to be darkness, because your light is darkness. It's going to lead you to death, basically. So let's get some precepts, all right? So let's start off in Deuteronomy, okay? This is Deuteronomy chapter 15, okay? So in order to understand a lot of the thought processes in these parables in the New Testament that Yahushua is putting down, you have to go back to the Old Testament, okay? Because the New Testament was largely based off of the Old Testament, okay? So this is Deuteronomy chapter 15 in verse 7, and it says, if there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of the gates in thy land, which Yahweh thy power given thee. And who did he give the land to? The Israelites, because this is all about the Israelites. Thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother. Okay, so it is telling you how to love your neighbor as you love yourself, okay? Like, you're not supposed to be like, I'm just going to turn myself away, he poor, blah, blah, blah. No, you're supposed to help your own people, okay? You're supposed to help your fellow Israelites. Verse 8, but thou shalt open thy hand wide unto him, and shall surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanted, okay? Now, one thing about the Israelite, you're not supposed to use usury. Okay, so adding interest onto a loan to a fellow Israelite. That's not how it's supposed to do. Okay? Verse 9. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart. Okay, now you can't have thoughts in your heart. It's talking about your mind. Okay? All right? So don't be thinking evil toward your brother because he down and out. Because, it could be you one day. Okay, or when you come back on this plane, if you can receive it, in the reincarnation. Okay, saying, the 7th year, the year of release is at hand, and thine eye be evil against thy poor brother. So what do it mean, thy eye be evil against thy poor brother? It already opened up talking to you about wicked thoughts in your heart. Okay, it's the same thing. It's just using a different wording. Okay, so it's talking about how you're thinking, where your mind is at. Don't be thinking evil thoughts about your brother just because he's poor. Okay, so that's the gist of it, what I wanted to get, but we'll keep reading. All right. And thou givest him naught. And he cry unto Yahweh power against thee, unto Yahweh against thee, and it be a sin unto thee. Okay? So, yeah, you don't want to, basically do wrong by your fellow Israelites because it's against the law. You're supposed to love your neighbor as you love yourself, okay? And that's going to be a sin. All right? Verse 10. Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him. So your heart posture, okay? So you can't be like, man, I hate this nigga while I'm doing this, blah, 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 but I'm going to give it to him anyway. No, you're supposed to be a cheerful giver, okay? So you have to be right on the inside too. You can't just do the outward stuff, okay? All right? Because that for this thing Yahweh thy power shall bless thee in all thy works and in all that thou puttest thine hand to do. Verse 11, for the poor shall never cease out of the land. Now this makes you go think about what Yahushua said, like in the book of Mark. We'll get that one. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thy hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor and to the needy, and in the land. Okay, so let's get that one in Mark 14. But you get what I'm saying about the eye, okay? It's not talking about your physical eye, all right? This is Mark's 14 and 7, and it says, for ye have the poor with you always, and whensoever ye will, ye may do them good, but me ye have not always. Because Yahushua, he wouldn't always be there. He had 33 years, and, his time was up, man. He was trying to get back to that first estate where he was at. He completed his mission, all right? So let's go get some more precepts and look at this word I in the Old Testament. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 11. And he says, but if any man hate his neighbor and lie in wait for him, okay, and rise up against him and smote him mortally that he die and fleeth into one of those cities. Okay, it's the cities of refuge that was set up. All right, and this is what it says. Verse 12, the elders of the city shall send and fetch him thence and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, who's usually like a family member of the person who got murked. Okay, that he may die. Thine eye shall not pity him. So how is your eyeball go pity somebody? It can't. Okay? It's talking about how you view them. Okay? Like in your mind. Okay? Oh, you committed murder. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. My thought process is, according to the law, you need to be reset and sent back to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in the spirit world. Like that's what our mindset is supposed to be. Okay? So remember, Yahweh Shai spoke in parables. Okay? I mean, Yahweh did too, but all right? So thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee. Okay? Now let's go to a scripture most of us know all too well. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Okay? Let's go to verse 54. And it says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother. And when you see, Israelites getting into it, are their eyes evil toward each other? In like a literal sense, it's talking about their mindsets, okay? The way that they think about each other, okay? Their thought process, all right? They want to do each other harm, okay? You got gangs and whatnot and all these rivalries and stuff, okay? You got Issachar versus Judah and whatever other tribe, okay? They all got their beef with each other, okay? You got, you got the Issacharite not wanting his daughter to be married to a Judite and stuff like that. Like, like that's the hate between the Israelites, okay? But that's according to the curses, all right? Because he had nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness where with thy enemy shall distress thee in thy gates, okay? And so that's going into the portion of, when the Israelites are in distress, All right, like when they're being seized, or you're gonna see it again in Jacob's trouble. Okay, another one would be, oh, I missed that. Slocky, I jumped down way too far. So this is, let me start at verse 52, 54 again, but that's all we should need. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Okay, so his mindset is evil toward them, okay? To his brother, wants to do harm to him, leaving his wife, leaving his children, which we see all too well. And it's, all in the mind, okay? And if you jump down to verse 56, you see the same thing with the Israelite woman. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set a sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom. Okay, trying to put him on child support, trying to divorce him and take half of what he got. Okay, and toward her son and toward her children. Look at the evils that they're doing to the children. They're leaving them. They're, murking them, sending them to the upper room. All right, going out, doing, who knows what with strange men and leaving their children at home. Okay, that's not right. But that's the curses, man. Let's go back to Matthew, chapter 6, verse 23 now. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. Therefore, the light that is in thee be darkness. How great is that darkness? Okay? So think about this. How your eyes going to be evil? Okay? It's going into your mind. So if you have an evil mindset, you go do evil things. You go be dark. You go be evil. You go be dark. All right? That's basically what it's going into. That's why when you come into this thing, you have to be born again. You have to renew your mind. Okay? And then this word becomes your light. Okay? And now the world might view you as being dark because they hate Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and they don't love this word. Okay, so they'll see things that are in this word that they don't like, that don't agree with their mindset, because they've decided that they're their own gods that they know was right from wrong. Okay, they don't want to listen to what Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai said is right from wrong. Okay, so that's where that comes in at. But in a true sense, when this word is that lamp unto your feet, light unto your path, okay, you're on the right path. All right, that's how it should be. Now, let's go to Proverbs chapter 2 and get a quick example. 22. Proverbs 22, verse 9. Oh, that's Psalms. Salakia. Clicked the wrong thing. Proverbs 22, verse 9. And it says, he that hath a bountiful eye shall be blessed, for he giveth his bread to the poor. Okay? So, how you gonna have a bountiful eye? It's talking about a bountiful mindset. Okay? So you have this mindset, this abundant mindset, I would say, bountiful. Okay? You're like, oh yeah, I could give to the poor because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is gonna provide. He gave this to me, I could give to the poor. You gonna be blessed. All right? Didn't we just read something about this in the book of Deuteronomy? Yes, we did. Okay? And so that's that mindset. That's what it's going into. Okay? Now let's go look at an opposite mindset. Okay? A mindset like Esau has. Okay? In verse 28. This is, chapter 28, verse 22. This is the book of Proverbs. He that hastened to be rich had an evil eye. Okay? And consider it not that poverty shall come upon him. Okay? So when you hasten to be rich, that's your focus. Okay? That's all you care about. You're doing anything to get that money. Okay? And so your mindset is wicked because you're putting money first instead of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right? You're making that money your God. Okay? And consider it not that poverty shall come upon him. Is Esau Edom considering that he about to be poor, that he about to be at the bottom, that he about to cough up all these riches that he gathered? Do you think that's in his mind? No. He think that his house will go on forever. All right? Now, that light of the elect, let's go get that. This is Psalms, chapter 119. I've been quoting it, so y'all already know it. In verse 105. And it says, Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Okay? And so this is obviously going to be the right path because it's led by the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That's how you find it. That's how you stay on it, that straight and narrow path. Okay? That path that had a deep gulf on one side and fire on the other side that only one man could go through at one time. Okay? Now, if you're following any other way, any other light, your light is darkness. Okay? Your path will lead to death and destruction. There's only one way of life. Okay, and the only way to get there is through the door, which is Yahweh Shai. That's the only way to get through to Yahweh, through Yahweh Shai. Okay, there's no other way. Let's go back to Book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 24, and it says, "No man can serve two masters." Okay, because you gonna be loyal to just one. For either he will hate one and love the other, or else he will hold to one and despise the other. You cannot serve power and mammon. Mammon representing money. Power representing Yahweh. Okay? You can only really serve one. Okay? One master. You can't worship an idol and worship Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? It don't work together. You can only serve one of them. Okay? You can't be divided. All right? You can't be on the fence. All right? You got to pick one. That's just how it goes. Okay? Let's look at a reference from the Old Testament, the book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 20. And it says, "So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, How long halt ye between two opinions?" How long you going to be divided? All right, now look at these two opinions. If Yahweh be power, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. So they're on the fence between Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and their false idol, Baal. Okay? And the people answer him not a word. All right? Now this is a good chapter to go read. So this is where, Elijah calls down the fire, okay, and challenges the prophet of Baal. Okay? So y'all go read that and check that out. But the point is, you got to pick, man. Either you going to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, or you going to serve these other gods. Okay? Or you going to let money be your God. All right? There's no in between. Let's go to Joshua chapter 24. Hear what Joshua got to say to these people. Verse 14. "And now therefore fear Yahweh, and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood." Okay, so they were worshiping idols. Okay, and in Egypt, worshiping idols again, and serve Yahweh. All right, and if it seem evil unto you to serve Yahweh, which it seemed evil unto some of our people to serve Yahweh, that's really a thing. Okay, choose you this day whom ye will serve. He not saying you could serve both of them. He said pick one. All right? Where is your mindset at? Is your mind with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai? Or is it on this world? Is it worshiping these idols? Is it on getting all these women? Is it only getting all this money? What is it on? What is important to you? Where is your treasure at? Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwelt. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh. And that's how it's supposed to be. Serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Another example for the modern day, those were modern day examples, some of them. But if you take the MOTB, you identifying Esau Edom as your God. Okay? That RFID micro C here. Okay? And so you turning your back on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So you think he going to save you as you picked Esau as your God? Because that's what it signifies. You see, back in the Old Testament, when a slave wanted to stay with his master would take him, to the door of the house and basically put a nail through his ear and pierce him. Okay? Roughly paraphrasing, you have to go read it. But it's basically something like an ice pick type thing that goes through the ear, and then they would put like an earring thing through it. But is basically you are being pierced or pricked. Okay, I went into it a while back, but that's basically signifying the same thing as taking this prick. Okay, that you would be taking with the MOTB. You're signifying Esau Edom as your power, as your God, your master. Okay, so don't take the MOT to the B. That's all I'm saying. So I hope this show lesson was edifying. Shalom, Yasharallah.